The stars looked cold through the viewport of the Times Harmony Dawn asterisk. Tae-min stood alone in the observation deck, watching the endless darkness of space. He wore the simple gray uniform of Earth's diplomatic service, his hands clasped behind his back. Tomorrow, he would present humanity's proposal to the Galactic Council. Tomorrow, everything would change for his people. He heard the alarm 3 seconds before the ship shook violently. Red lights flooded the corridors. The ship's computer voice spoke in flat, emotionless tones. Hull breach detected. Unknown vessels approaching. All personnel to emergency stations. Tae-min ran. His training kicked in automatically. He had been a soldier once, before becoming a diplomat. The hallways filled with crew members scrambling in panic. He helped a young technician to her feet when another explosion threw them against the wall. The attackers came through the breach like a nightmare made real. They stood 8 feet tall, covered in natural armor that looked like dark metal. 4 arms extended from their massive bodies, each ending in clawed hands. Their faces were all sharp angles and teeth. The Vraks. He had read about them in the briefing files. Raiders. Killers. They took what they wanted and destroyed what they didn't. The security team tried to fight back. Tae-min watched them die in seconds. Energy weapons meant nothing against Vrak's armor. Physical strength meant nothing against creatures who could bend steel bars with their bare hands. One Vrax grabbed a guard by the helmet and simply crushed it. The sound echoed through the hallway. Tae-min didn't run anymore. Running was pointless. He raised his hands slowly and stepped into the open. "I surrender," he said clearly. "I am Ambassador Tae-min of Earth. Under galactic law, you cannot kill diplomatic personnel." The largest Vrax stepped forward. Its armor was decorated with bones. Human bones, Tae-min realized with a cold feeling in his stomach. The creature laughed, a sound like grinding rocks. "Human," it said in broken standard language. "Laws are for the weak. You come with us now. You fight for us. You die for us. This is your new law." They took him and 12 others. The rest of the crew lay dead in the corridors. Tae-min memorized the face of every Vrax he saw. Old habits from his soldier days. Know your enemy. Remember them. Survive long enough to make them pay. The Vrax ship smelled like blood and rust. They threw the prisoners into a large cage made of energy barriers. Tae-min counted the others. 3 Delphians, with their blue skin and gentle eyes. 2 Korthan engineers with their multiple tentacles. 1 Yulian, whose scales were already fading from stress. And 5 beings he had never seen before. One of them caught his attention immediately. She stood apart from the others, her body seeming to glow with soft inner light. Her skin looked like crystal, reflecting colors that shifted as she moved. She had the basic shape of a humanoid, but everything about her seemed delicate, almost fragile. She was beautiful in a way that made his chest hurt. She was also crying. Not loudly, but tears rolled down her crystalline face and made soft sounds when they hit the floor. Tae-min walked over to her slowly. He didn't want to scare her. "Hello," he said gently. "My name is Tae-min. I'm from Earth." She looked up at him. Her eyes were like looking into deep water. "I am Hana," she said. Her voice was like music. "I am Liren. I was on my first mission, my first time away from home." Fresh tears came. "I wanted to study human culture, to learn about your people. And now, I will die here, in this terrible place." Tae-min sat down beside her. "Not too close. Respectful distance. You're not going to die," he said. He tried to sound confident. "The Galactic Council will look for us. Our governments will find us." Hana shook her head. "You don't understand. The Vraks take prisoners to their arena stations. We will fight. They will make us kill each other for entertainment. I cannot fight. My people gave up violence 1,000,000 years ago. We don't even have weapons. We don't know how." She looked at him with those deep eyes. "Can you fight?" Taemin of Earth. He thought about lying. Thought about comforting her with false words, but something in her gaze made him tell the truth. Yes, he said. I can fight. I was a soldier before I became a diplomat. Humans. We know how to fight. Will you teach me? She asked. Can you show me how to survive? Before he could answer, the cage door opened. A Vrax guard pointed at Taemin. Human. Come. They dragged him through corridors until they reached a massive chamber. It took his breath away. The arena was huge, easily the size of 3 football fields. Thousands of Vrax sat in seats carved from stone, all watching the center space. The floor was stained dark with old blood. A Vrax in elaborate armor stood on a platform above the arena. His voice boomed through speakers. I am War Chief Brutok. You are prisoners. You are entertainment. You fight. Maybe you live. You refuse. You die slow. You win many fights. Maybe we ransom you back to your soft governments. He laughed. And thousands of Vrax laughed with him. Today, we test the human. They say humans are peaceful now. They say humans want only to talk and trade. But I remember the old stories. I remember when humans were warriors. Brutok pointed at Taemin. Show us, little human. Show us if the stories were true, or if you are all weak like the other prey species. They threw Taemin into the arena. The crowd roared. He looked up at the prisoner viewing box and saw Hana pressed against the barrier, her crystalline hands covering her mouth. Their eyes met for a moment. A door on the opposite side opened. A Vrax warrior stepped out, even larger than the guards. It carried no weapons. It didn't need any. Its 4 arms flexed, each one capable of tearing Taemin apart. The Vrax charged. Taemin stood completely still, watching it come, calculating, measuring. His old instructor's voices echoed in his memory. Speed is strength. Precision is power. Survive first. Win second. The Vrax was 5 steps away. 4 steps. 3 steps. Taemin moved. The Vrax warrior expected the human to run. Every prey species ran at first. They all tried to escape, to dodge, to buy a few more seconds of life. But this human did something different. He stepped forward, directly into the Vrax's path. The warrior swung with his upper right arm, aiming to crush the human's skull. The blow had enough force to break stone, but the human wasn't there anymore. He had dropped low, sliding under the massive arm. The Vrax felt something hit the back of his knee. Not hard, but precise. His leg buckled slightly. Taemin rolled away before the other 3 arms could grab him. His heart pounded. His mouth tasted like copper from breathing too hard. But his mind stayed calm. He had fought bigger opponents before. Never this big, never this strong. But the principles remained the same. Find the weakness. Exploit it. Survive. The Vrax turned, faster than something that size should move. It roared at him, showing rows of sharp teeth. The crowd roared back. They wanted blood. They wanted death. Taemin kept moving. Circle. Always circle. Make the enemy turn. Make them work. They're strong, but strong means heavy. Heavy means slow over time. He could see the Vrax's breathing pattern. Could see how the natural armor plates connected. There. At the joints. There. Under the arms. Small gaps. Small targets. The warrior charged again. This time, Taemin didn't dodge completely. He stepped inside the reach, so close that the long arms couldn't get a good angle. He drove his elbow into the soft tissue under the Vrax's left lower arm. The creature grunted. First sign of pain. Then the backhand came. Taemin tried to dodge but wasn't fast enough. The impact lifted him off his feet and threw him 10 meters across the arena. He hit the ground hard. Tasted blood. His ribs screamed. Maybe. Cracked. Maybe. Broken. Didn't matter. Get up. Get up now. He forced himself to stand. The Vrax was already coming. No time to catch his breath. No time for pain. In the viewing box, Hana couldn't look away. She wanted to close her eyes, wanted to hide from the violence. But something kept her watching. The human moved like water, like wind. Every motion had purpose. There was no wasted movement, no panic. Her people had abandoned violence so long ago that they had forgotten what true combat looked like. This was brutal. This was terrifying. This was beautiful. She pressed her crystalline hand against the energy barrier. Her telepathic senses reached out, touching the edges of Taemin's mind. What she felt shocked her. No rage, no hate, just cold calculation and iron discipline. This human had done this before. Many times before. The fight continued. Minutes stretched into eternities. The Vrax warrior began to slow. Small cuts had appeared on his body, bleeding green blood. The human had done that. Those precise strikes to the joints, to the soft places, were adding up. The warrior's breathing came harder now. Taemin's entire body hurt. Every breath was fire in his chest. His left eye was swelling shut. Blood ran from his nose and mouth. But he was still standing, still moving, still fighting. The Vrax charged one more time, all four arms spread wide to grab him. This was it. The final move. Taemin waited until the last possible second, then dropped flat to the ground. The warrior couldn't stop his momentum. He stumbled forward, off balance. Taemin swept his leg out, hitting the back of both the Vrax's knees at once. The giant creature fell forward, crashing face first into the blood-stained floor. Before it could recover, Taemin was on its back. He wrapped his arm around the thick neck, found the neural cluster at the base of the skull. His instructor's voices came back. When you have no weapons, your knowledge is your weapon. Every species has a weak point. Find it. Use it. He pressed his thumb into the neural cluster with all his remaining strength. The Vrax thrashed, trying to throw him off. Taemin held on. Pressed harder. Harder. The warrior went limp. The arena fell completely silent. 10,000 Vrax stared in disbelief. A human, barely 6 feet tall, had defeated one of their warriors. A human, with no weapons, no armor, no natural advantages, just skill and determination. Then the cheering started. The Vrax loved violence. They respected strength. And what they had just witnessed was both. War Chief Brutok stood on his platform. His expression was unreadable. He announced, "Take him back to the cage. He will fight again." He turned to his guards. "This one is interesting. Keep him healthy. I want to see what else he can do." They dragged Taemin back to the prisoner area. He could barely walk. His legs felt like water. When they threw him into the cage, he collapsed immediately. The other prisoners backed away, frightened by the blood covering him. All except Hana. She rushed to him, her crystalline hands hovering over his injuries. "You're hurt," she said. Tears fell again, landing on his skin. Where her tears touched, he felt coolness, felt some of the pain ease. "I didn't know," she whispered. "I didn't know humans could fight like that. Your people told the galaxy you were peaceful. They said you had moved beyond violence." Taemin coughed, tasted more blood. "We are peaceful," he said. His voice came out rough. "We choose peace. But that doesn't mean we forgot how to fight. We just put the weapons away. Locked that part of ourselves in a box. Hoped we'd never need it again. But you do need it," Hana said. "Here, now." She looked at him with something new in her eyes. Not just fear anymore. Something else. Respect. Admiration. "How many more times will they make you fight?" "Until I lose," Taemin said. "Or until someone ransoms us. Whichever comes first." He tried to sit up, winced at the pain. Hana helped him. Her touch gentle despite her crystalline nature. "Tell me about your people." he said. Tell me about the Lyran. I want to know why I'm fighting to keep you alive. Hana smiled through her tears. It was the first smile he had seen from her. We sing, she said. We create art and music. We study the stars and ask questions about the universe. We don't fight. We don't hate. We just live. Peacefully. Quietly. She looked down. I know it must seem weak to you. No, Taemin said firmly. It seems beautiful. It seems like something worth protecting. He closed his eyes, exhausted beyond measure. That's what soldiers do, Hana. We protect the people who build beautiful things. We carry the darkness so others can live in the light. Hana watched him slip into unconscious sleep. She stayed beside him, her crystalline form glowing softly in the dim cage. For the first time in her life, she understood something about violence. It wasn't always evil. Sometimes it was necessary. Sometimes it was sacrifice. She touched his bruised face gently and whispered words in her own language. The translator didn't catch them all, but the meaning was clear enough. I wish he were mine. 3 days passed. They made Taemin fight twice more. The second fight was against 2 Vrax warriors at once. The third was against something they called a bone crusher, a creature bioengineered for combat. It looked like a bear mixed with a crocodile, covered in spikes. Both times, Taemin won. Both times, he came back to the cage, bleeding and broken. Both times, Hana stayed beside him while he healed. The other prisoners had started to see him differently. The Delphians bowed their heads when he passed. The Korthon engineers asked him questions about human combat techniques. Even the Yulian, who rarely spoke to anyone, nodded respectfully at him. But Hana was different. She didn't treat him like a warrior or a weapon. She treated him like a person. They talked during the long hours between fights, their cages side by side, separated only by thin energy barriers. Tell me about Earth, Hana said one evening. The arena station had no real day or night, but the Vrax dimmed the lights during their sleep cycle. In the darkness, her crystalline form glowed brighter. It gave Taemin something beautiful to focus on, besides the pain in his body. Earth is. He paused, thinking. It's complicated, beautiful, and terrible at the same time. We have oceans that stretch forever, mountains that touch the sky, but we also have scars. Places where wars burned the ground. Cities that were destroyed and rebuilt a dozen times. My grandfather used to say, Earth is a reminder. Every time we see the scars, we remember why we chose peace. Were you born during the wars? Hana asked. No. The last war ended 50 years before I was born. But my grandfather fought in it. He told me stories, not to glorify violence, but to make sure I understood the cost. He said every soldier carries the weight of what they've done, even if it was necessary, even if it saved lives. Taemin looked at his hands. They were still bruised from the last fight. I joined the military because someone has to. Someone has to stand between the peaceful people and the dangerous universe. But I always planned to leave it behind. Become a diplomat. Build bridges instead of fighting battles. Hana moved closer to the barrier between their cages. And now, you're fighting again. Now I'm fighting again, he agreed. But this time, it's different. I'm not fighting for territory or resources or politics. I'm fighting to keep you alive. To keep all of us alive. That's easier to carry. Hana's crystalline features shifted color, showing emotion her species couldn't hide. Soft pink and warm gold. Taemin didn't know what it meant, but it was beautiful. My people were told humans were dangerous, she said quietly. Before I came on this mission, the council warned me. They said humans had violence in their blood. That we should be careful around them. But you're not dangerous to me. You're protecting me. Humans are dangerous, Taemin said honestly. But only to our enemies. We take care of our friends. We protect the weak. We fight for those who can't fight for themselves. That's what makes us different from species like the Vraks. They use violence for pleasure and power. We use it for protection and survival. The lights suddenly brightened. Guards approached. Taemin felt his stomach sink. Not again. Not so soon. But they didn't open his cage. They opened Hana's. No, Taemin said immediately, standing up. She's not a fighter. She can't. A guard hit the energy barrier near his face. The shock threw him backward. Quiet. Human. The war chief wants to see if the crystal skin can survive. Maybe she learns. Maybe she dies. We find out. Hana's eyes met Taemin's. Pure terror filled them. Taemin, she whispered. Listen to me, he said quickly, ignoring the guards pulling her away. Don't think. Just react. Go for the eyes. The throat. The joints. Use your hands like blades. Aim for soft tissue. You're smaller and faster. Use that. Survive, Hana. Just survive. They dragged her toward the arena. Taemin grabbed the energy barrier, feeling it burn his hands. He didn't care. He screamed at the guards, at the war chief, at anyone who would listen. She can't fight. This isn't combat. It's murder. War Chief Brutok appeared on his platform, looking down at the cages. You care for the crystal skin, human? Good. That makes it more interesting. If she survives 3 minutes, I will return her to the cage. If not. They forced Taemin into the viewing area with the other prisoners. He pressed against the barrier, watching as they pushed Hana into the arena. She looked so small down there. So fragile. They released a bone crusher into the arena with her. Not a large one, but large enough. It snarled and immediately charged at her. Hana did something that surprised everyone. She didn't freeze. She didn't scream. She ran. Her crystalline body moved faster than it looked like it should. The bone crusher's claws missed her by inches. She leaped over a rock outcropping, putting distance between herself and the creature. That's it, Taemin whispered. Keep moving. Make it work. Tire it out. The bone crusher was not a smart creature. It chased her around the arena, roaring in frustration. Hana used every obstacle, every rock, every bit of cover. She was learning, adapting. When the creature got close, she used her natural crystalline fingers, like Taemin had said, like blades. She slashed at its eyes, at its nose. Small cuts, but painful ones. The crowd started to make noise. Not cheering exactly, but something like respect. This small, delicate creature was surviving against a killer. She wasn't winning, but she was surviving. 2 minutes passed. 2.5. The bone crusher was getting tired. Hana was gasping, her crystalline body flickering with exhaustion. Just a few more seconds. Just a little longer. The creature made one final lunge. Hana tried to dodge, but her legs gave out. She fell. The bone crusher's jaws opened wide, ready to end her. A sharp whistle echoed through the arena. War Chief Brutok's signal. Guards rushed in with shock prods, driving the creature back into its cage. The 3 minutes were up. Hana lay on the arena floor, shaking. They picked her up and carried her back to the cages. When they threw her in, Taemin was there immediately. His hands hovered over her, wanting to comfort her but not sure if touch would hurt her crystalline form. You did it, he said. You survived. You were amazing. Hana looked up at him. Tears streamed down her face, but she was also laughing. A strange, half-hysterical sound. I was so scared. But I remembered what you said. I survived. She reached out and grabbed his hand, not caring about the pain. You saved me. Your words saved me. Taemin held her hand gently. You saved yourself. You found the warrior inside you. Every species has it, buried deep. Even peaceful ones. They sat together in the darkness, holding hands through their exhaustion and pain. The other prisoners watched them with a mixture of respect and something else. Hope, maybe. If the crystal being could survive, maybe they all could. Hana's crystalline features glowed with soft colors. Pink and gold, and something deeper, warmer. She looked at Tae-min like he was the center of her universe. And very quietly, so only he could hear, she said it again. I wish you were mine. This time, Tae-min heard her clearly. He squeezed her hand gently and whispered back, Maybe I am. 2 weeks passed on the arena station. Tae-min fought 7 more times. Each fight was harder than the last. War Chief Brutok seemed determined to find his limits. They sent him against multiple opponents. Against war machines. Against trained gladiators from other species who had survived dozens of matches. Every time, Tae-min adapted. Every time, he won. But the cost grew higher with each victory. His body was a map of scars now. Burns from energy weapons. Deep cuts that Hana's tears could only partially heal. Bones that had been broken and set without proper medical care. He moved slower each day, slept less, ate little, but his mind stayed sharp. That was the important part. As long as he could think, he could fight. As long as he could plan, he could survive. Hana watched him deteriorate, and it broke her heart. Her people were telepathic, could sense emotions and thoughts. Every night she felt his pain, his exhaustion, his determination not to give up. She felt something else too. His growing feelings for her. Affection. Protection. Something deeper that neither of them had named yet. You need to stop, she told him one night. They sat as close to the barrier between their cages as they could. The energy hummed between them, but they had learned to ignore it. Tell them you won't fight anymore. Refuse. Tae-min shook his head. If I refuse, they'll kill me. Then they'll start making other prisoners fight. Maybe you. I can't allow that. Then escape, Hana said desperately. Find a way. You're clever. You're strong. You could. And leave you here? Tae-min smiled sadly. No. We all leave together, or we all stay together. Those are the only options I'll accept. You stubborn human, Hana said, but she was smiling too. Her crystalline features glowed warm colors. Tell me something. Before all this, before the arena, did you have someone? On Earth? Someone waiting for you? No. Tae-min said. My work was my life. Traveling, negotiating, building alliances. I told myself there would be time for relationships later, after I had accomplished enough, after I had made a difference. He laughed quietly. Funny how the universe changes your plans. And now? Hana asked. What do you want now? Tae-min looked directly at her. Now, I want to get you out of here. I want to see you safe. I want. He paused. I want to know what those colors mean, the ones your skin shows. You glow different colors around me. Pink, gold, sometimes deep blue. I've been trying to figure it out. Hana's colors shifted immediately. Pink flooded her features. It's emotion. My people can't hide what we feel. Not from each other. The colors show our emotional state. And pink means, she looked away. Affection, attraction, love. The word hung in the air between them. I know it's foolish. We're different species. We've known each other only weeks. We're trapped in a nightmare. But I can't help what I feel. You've shown me things about courage and sacrifice that my people forgot existed. You've protected me, taught me, and she stopped, tears forming. You wish I were yours, Tae-min finished gently. Hana's colors went deep blue. Embarrassment. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have. Don't apologize, Tae-min said firmly. Because the truth is, I'm already yours. I have been. Since the first time you cried over my injuries. Since you stayed beside me when you could have stayed safely away. I'm yours, Hannah. If we survive this, when we survive this, I'm yours. Very rife. My 3. The next morning, everything changed. War Chief Brutok appeared at the cages personally. His massive form blocked out the light. Human, he said, you have survived 12 matches. You have killed 7 warriors and 3 beasts. You have earned my respect. So I offer you a choice. Taemin stood slowly. What choice? Fight me, Brutok said. You and me. No weapons. No tricks. Just combat. If you win, all prisoners go free. I will personally deliver you to Galactic Council space. If you lose, you and everyone here dies. I will destroy this station with you on it. The other prisoners gasped. Hannah moved to the barrier, her face shocked. No, she said. It's a trap. He'll kill you. Brutok turned his head to look at her. No trap, Crystal Skin. Honor demands a true challenge. The human has shown warrior spirit. He deserves a warrior's test. I will fight him fairly. He has my word. The word of a raider means nothing. One of the Delphians said bitterly. The word of a war chief is law among the Vraks, Brutok said coldly. Break it, and I die by my own clan's hands. So yes, alien. My word means everything. He looked back at Taemin. What do you say, human? Do you accept? Or do I start making the others fight until they all die? Taemin didn't hesitate. I accept. No, Hannah screamed. You can't. He's twice your size. He's killed hundreds. You're already injured. This is suicide. Taemin turned to her. Their eyes met through the barrier. It's the only way, he said. The only chance for everyone. I have to take it. Then let me do something first, Hannah said. She called out to the guards. I request 1 hour. Lyran custom. Before a warrior goes to a death match, they commune with their loved ones. It's sacred. Even your people must have something similar. Brutok considered this. 1 hour, he agreed. The Vraks honor such traditions. He gestured to the guards. Open both cages. Let them be together. But watch them. If they try to escape, kill them both. The barriers dropped. For the first time since being imprisoned, Taemin and Hannah could touch without the energy between them. Hannah rushed to him, and he caught her in his arms. Her crystalline form felt cool against his scarred skin. She was lighter than he expected, delicate like glass, but she held him with surprising strength. They sat together in his cage. The guards watched from a distance, but gave them privacy. Hannah placed her crystalline hands on either side of Taemin's face. Let me show you, she whispered. My world. My life. Everything I am. It's a gift my people can give. Complete understanding through telepathic communion. Will it hurt? Taemin asked. No, Hannah said. It will be beautiful. She closed her eyes and her hands began to glow. Taemin felt something warm spread through his mind. Suddenly he could see her world. Lyran. A planet of crystal towers and singing winds. Cities that glowed with inner light. People who created art that could make you cry with its beauty. Music that resonated in your soul. Peace. Perfect. Complete peace. Then Hannah's memories. Her childhood. Learning to sing. Learning to create. Her excitement at being chosen for the diplomatic mission. Her dreams of exploring the galaxy. Her terror when the Vraks attacked. Her growing admiration as she watched Taemin fight. The moment she realized she loved him. When the communion ended, Taemin had tears on his face. Your world is beautiful, he said. Show me yours, Hannah said. Show me what made you who you are. Taemin had never done this before. But Hannah guided him. He opened his memories to her. She saw Earth, The wars, the destruction, the slow rebuilding, the choice to pursue peace. She felt his training, his military service, the weight of violence, the decision to become a diplomat, his hope that he could make the universe better through words instead of weapons. When they separated, Hana was crying. "You carry so much," she said. "So much pain, so much responsibility. How do you bear it?" "Because I have to," Taemin said. "Because if I don't, who will?" He pulled her close. "And now I have something else. Something worth fighting for. Something worth surviving for." They held each other for the rest of the hour. No more words were needed. They understood each other completely now. Two souls from different worlds, connected by impossible circumstances and the kind of love that only grows in the darkest places. When the guards came to take Taemin to the arena, Hana kissed him. A human custom she had learned from his memories. "Win," she whispered. "Survive. Be mine." "I'm already yours," Taemin said. "I always will be." They filled the seats until there was no space left. They stood in the corridors leading to the viewing areas. They climbed on the walls. All of them wanted to see this. The human who had defied every expectation. The war chief who had never lost. Only one would walk out alive. Taemin stood in the center of the arena, breathing slowly. His body hurt everywhere. Old injuries stacked on older ones. His ribs were taped. His left knee was swollen. His right hand had 2 broken fingers that he couldn't use properly. But his mind was clear. That was all that mattered. War Chief Brutok entered from the opposite side. He wore no armor, just like Taemin. Fair fight. His 4 massive arms flexed as he walked. His natural armor plating caught the harsh arena lights. He was easily 8 feet tall and probably weighed 400 pounds. All muscle, all killing power. Human. Brutok called out. His voice echoed through the arena. "I respect you. You have shown true warrior spirit. But respect will not save you. I have killed better fighters than you. I have broken species that were stronger. This ends only one way." "Maybe," Taemin said, "but I've learned something here. Strength isn't everything. Size isn't everything. What matters is why you fight. You fight for glory, for entertainment, for yourself." He looked up at the viewing box, where Hana stood, pressed against the barrier, glowing with worry. "I fight for her. For all of them. For everyone who can't fight for themselves. That's the difference between us." Brutok followed his gaze to Hana. "The crystal skin? You fight for love?" He threw his head back and laughed. The crowd laughed with him. "Love is weakness, human. Love makes you hesitate. Love makes you stupid. It will get you killed." "No," Taemin said quietly. "Love is why I'll win." The gong sounded. The fight began. Brutok moved faster than any opponent Taemin had faced. His 4 arms came from different angles. Impossible to track all at once. Taemin dodged the first 3 strikes, but the 4th caught him in the chest. The impact lifted him off his feet and threw him backward. He hit the ground hard, rolled, forced himself up. His ribs screamed. Maybe the tape had broken. Maybe something inside had torn. Didn't matter. Get up. Keep moving. Brutok pressed the attack. He was experienced enough to know not to give an opponent time to recover. His strikes came in combinations. High, low, middle. Taemin blocked what he could, dodged what he couldn't. But each impact that landed did damage. His forearm went numb from blocking. His shoulder popped out of joint from a glancing blow. The crowd roared their approval. This was what they wanted. Violence. Domination. The crushing of the weak by the strong. In the viewing box, Hana couldn't breathe. She felt every impact through their connection. Felt his pain, his exhaustion, His determination not to give up, she whispered to him, even though he couldn't hear. Please. Please survive. I need you. I love you. Taemin was losing. He knew it. Brutok was too strong, too fast, too skilled. But losing slowly was better than losing quickly. Every second he survived was another second to find a weakness. Every exchange taught him something new about his opponent's patterns. There. The way Brutok favored his upper right arm for power strikes. The way his lower left arm stayed back slightly, protecting his ribs. That meant something. A weakness. An old injury, maybe. Something. Taemin changed tactics, stopped defending, started attacking. He went low, driving his shoulder into Brutok's legs. The warchief stumbled, surprised. Taemin spun, kicked at the lower left side. His foot connected with the ribs underneath. Brutok roared. Not in rage, in pain. Real pain. The crowd went quiet. No one had ever hurt the warchief before. Taemin pressed forward. Now he knew where to strike. He took hits to deliver hits. Let Brutok's upper arm slam into his shoulders while he drove punches and elbows into that left side. Each impact made Brutok move slower, made him protect that side more. But the cost was terrible. Taemin's body was failing. His vision blurred from impacts to his head. Blood filled his mouth. His legs could barely hold him. He was running on pure willpower now, on the promise he had made to Hana, on the need to save everyone. Brutok caught him with two arms at once, lifted him high above the arena floor. Enough, the warchief said. He sounded almost sad. You fought well, human. Better than any before. But this ends now. He threw Taemin down with all his strength. The impact with the stone floor should have ended it. Should have broken his spine. Should have killed him. But humans were strange creatures. They didn't know when to quit. They didn't understand the concept of impossible. When their bodies failed, their spirits took over. When logic said to surrender, stubbornness said to stand. Taemin stood up. Blood poured from his nose and mouth. One eye was completely swollen shut. His left arm hung useless at his side. His breathing came in wet, ragged gasps. But he stood. No, he said. The word came out as barely a whisper, but everyone heard it in the silent arena. No, I don't accept death. Not today. Not while she's watching. Not while people need me. He took a step forward on shaking legs. You want to kill me, warchief? Then you'll have to work for it. Something changed in Brutok's expression. Respect. Real respect. So be it. Human. Die as a warrior should. Standing. Fighting. He charged one final time. All four arms raised for a simultaneous strike that would pulverize Taemin's body. This was the end. This was the moment. Taemin didn't dodge. He stepped forward. Into the strike. Sacrificed his already damaged left arm, letting it take the full force of all four of Brutok's arms. Bones shattered. Pain exploded through him. But his right arm was free. His right arm could still move. He drove his fist upward with every ounce of strength his broken body could generate. Not at the ribs. At the throat. The unarmored throat. The one place every species kept vulnerable. Because biology demanded it. The impact crushed Brutok's windpipe. The warchief staggered backward, his four arms clutching at his throat. He tried to breathe. Couldn't. He fell to his knees. Then to his side. The arena was absolutely silent. No one moved. No one breathed. Brutok looked up at Taemin. Their eyes met. The warchief nodded once. Respect. Acknowledgement. Then, his eyes closed. Taemin stood over him for a moment longer. Then his legs gave out. He collapsed to the arena floor. Darkness pulled at him. So tempting to let go. To sleep. But not yet. Medical teams rushed into the arena. Behind them, the prisoners were being released from the viewing box. Hana was first. She ran across the arena floor, her crystalline form catching the light as she moved. She fell to her knees beside Taemin. "Don't you die," she said, crying. "Don't you dare die now. Not after everything. You promised. You said you were mine." Taemin opened his one working eye, looked at her, smiled despite the pain. "I am," he whispered. "Always. Just need to rest. Just for a little while." "Then rest," Hana said. She held his shattered left hand carefully. "I'll be here when you wake. I promise." The medical teams worked quickly. They stabilized him, brought him to the station's medical bay, where the Vraks healed their own warriors. The clan honored Brutok's word. A war chief's final command was absolute. All prisoners were freed. Transport was arranged to Galactic Council space. Taemin slept for 3 days. When he woke, everything hurt, but he was alive. His left arm was in a regeneration pod. His ribs were sealed. His body would heal, the doctors said. It would take time, but he would recover fully. Hana never left his side. She sat beside his bed, her crystalline hand holding his right hand. When he opened his eyes, she was the first thing he saw. She was glowing soft pink and gold. Love and joy. "Hello," he said. His voice was rough. "Hello," she said back. Fresh tears fell. Happy tears this time. "You scared me." "Sorry," Taemin said. "Had to win, though." "Made you a promise." "You did," Hana agreed. "You won. You saved us all. You kept your promise." "Good," Taemin said. He squeezed her hand. "Because I have another promise to make. When we get back to Council space, when all this is over, I want to see your world. I want to know your people. You want me," Hana finished. Her colors shifted to deep pink, almost red. "And you can have me. Forever, if you want." "Forever sounds good," Taemin said. 6 months later, they stood together on Lyran. The crystal towers rose around them, singing in the wind. Taemin's arm had healed completely. The scars remained, but he wore them without shame. They were proof he had survived. Proof he had fought for something that mattered. Hana wore traditional Lyran ceremony dress, her crystalline form decorated with intricate patterns of light. They were about to bond, a ceremony that would join their minds and hearts forever. Her people had been skeptical at first. A human? A warrior? But when they saw how Hana glowed around him, when they felt the genuine love between them, they understood. "Ready?" Hana asked. "Ready," Taemin confirmed. As the ceremony began, Taemin thought about that first day in the arena. The moment Hana had first seen him fight. The moment she had whispered that she wished he were hers. He smiled. She got her wish. And so did he.